Hello everyone, my name is Jeremy and for my cross-gender leisure activity, I chose to do yoga. Many people think that yoga is just stretching, but while stretching is certainly involved, yoga is really about creating balance in the body through developing both strength and flexibility. This is done through the performance of poses or postures, each of which has specific physical benefits. The poses can be done quickly in succession, creating heat in the body through movement, or more slowly to increase stamina and perfect the alignment of the pose. The desire for greater personal freedom, health and long life, and high-end self-understanding gave birth to this system of physical and mental exercise. Yoga means to join, union, unite, or yoke together because it brings the body and mind together into one harmonious experience. Yoga is built on three main structures: exercise, breathing, and meditation. If you are new to yoga, you have lots of options. There are many types of yoga to choose from. With any style of yoga, you can improve your strength, flexibility, and balance. And all yoga styles release tension in your body, quiet your mind, and help you relax. To get the most benefit, you should choose a style of yoga that matches your current fitness level, as well as your personality and goals for practicing yoga. Here are just 3 out of hundreds of styles. Hatha yoga is ideal for beginners. Hatha refers to any practice that combines poses or asanas with breathing techniques or pranayamas. Vinyasa is a fairly fast-paced style, sometimes called power yoga. It requires you to move continuously throughout the class. And Bikram yoga is a type of hatha yoga performed in a heated room to a very high temperature. No one knows exactly when yoga began, but it certainly predates written history. Stone carvings depicting figures in yoga positions have been found in archaeological sites in the Indus Valley dating back 5,000 years or more. The tradition of yoga has always been passed on individually from teacher to student through oral teaching and practical demonstration. The formal techniques that are now known as yoga are, therefore, based on the collective experiences of many individuals over many thousands of years. One of the earliest texts having to do with yoga was compiled by a scholar named Pansahali, who set down the most prevalent yoga theories and practices of his time in a book he called Yoga Sutras, or Yoga Aphorisms, as early as the 1st or 2nd century BC, or as late as the 5th century AD. The system that he wrote about is known as Ashtanga Yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga, and this is what is generally referred to today as classical yoga. Yoga probably arrived in the United States in the late 1800s, but it did not become widely known until the 1960s, as part of the youth culture's growing interest in anything Eastern. More became known about the beneficial effects of yoga. It gained acceptance and respect as a valuable method for helping in the management of stress and improving health and well-being. Many physicians now recommend yoga practice to patients at risk for heart disease, as well as those with back pain, arthritis, depression, and other chronic conditions. Women have always been allowed to practice yoga in India, at least within the traditional culture of India where Tantra has been influential in Bengal, Kashmir, and parts of South India. It is unfortunately true, however, that India has long been suffering from sexism and racism, in large part due to the influence of Vedic dogmas. These dogmas have also influenced the practice of yoga, hence most of all the famous hatha yoga teachers coming out of recent years have been men. Women have been practicing and contributing to the yoga tradition for thousands of years as students, teachers, scholars, and gurus. 72% of all yogis in America are female. A recent Washington Post article points out that many still view yoga as a women's practice, although its benefits for physical health and well-being extend to both sexes. Some men argue that yoga is only for women. In some parts of the world, the majority of yoga students are women, and some men may have gotten the idea that yoga isn't for them. Articles argue that commonly perpetuated yoga myths are what keep men sitting on the couch or on a spin bike instead of in a lotus pose. Yoga isn't a decent workout. It's too touchy-feely. You have to be flexible to do it. Men's bodies just aren't built for pretzel-like poses, are just a few of these myths. As a matter of fact, yoga was originated in India by men. It wasn't until yoga came stateside that women were the main practitioners. It may be 70% women and 30% men in classes. The fact is, all people are searching for inner peace, and all people wish to avoid disease and live a healthy life. Yoga offers something for anyone who wishes an effective method of physical, mental, or spiritual development and should not be thought of as a discipline reserved only for women or only for men. Based on our readings in class, it is easy to see why yoga seems to be the perfect activity for women, especially when compared to the ideals of the Victorian ideology. According to Henderson, Victorian ideology states that true womanhood focuses on domesticity and moral guardianship. Yoga is definitely a practice that can be done at home to avoid equipment, apparel, and class costs, which makes it more convenient. On top of that, Henderson states that women in general have narrower and smaller shoulders and broader pelvic girdles than men, which men believe is the reason women can be better than yoga than them. Gregar states that men's fragile egos are bruised by being unable to perform poses that are easier for women. In our society, our wellness-obsessed culture has come to associate yoga with a certain ideal of female perfection. Because I didn't want to disturb the class at the gym, I took what I learned from there home. Here I am displaying a couple of beginner's yoga poses. The picture on the top displays me doing the downward dog. The bottom left is called the cobra, and the bottom right is called the warrior 2. If I could describe yoga in 2 words, it would be enlightening and uplifting. I was always very hesitant to try yoga because as a male, I didn't want people thinking I was only there to check out the women in their yoga pants, but really wanted to try it out because of all the positive things that I've heard about it. I've learned that yoga is about balance and breathing so that you can perform each stretch or position to the best of your ability. I know that yoga works out your core muscles of the lower back and abdominals, and I can feel them getting a little bit of workout as well. After the workout, I feel like my muscles feel less tense and more relaxed, and I feel that my flexibility is getting a little bit better.